Welcome to CK4RC.
Got something new on the bench today, so let's check this thing out. SLT2 Spectrum transmitter, fine. Holy crap, this thing is huge. That is most certainly not what she said. that is not what she said. You know what I mean? Welcome back to the channel. We got an Axial UTB18, Axial Capra UTB18, the 18 scale Capra. This thing recently went on sale. This is the V1. This recently went on sale almost like 50% off. I couldn't pass that up, so I didn't. Got one. 18 scale my butt. You know what I mean? Holy crap, this thing is huge. So let's get into this thing. First up, I mean, this thing is just gigantic. I mean, all right, so first of all, before we even get into the rig itself, got the charger, manual, batteries, bind plug, T-cross, or T-wrench, a couple Allen wrenches, axial sticker, jackpot, looks like maybe some axle hexes, something. Like I said, we got the SLT2 transmitter here. Nothing fancy, Spectrum branded remote. Foam wheel, I like it. It's got all the standard stuff you would expect in a transmitter. So that's all the standard stuff. Goodness gracious, I cannot get over this thing. Well, first of all, did you notice whenever I set this thing down? Watch this. Ooh, look at that suspension. Man, that thing just, it just eases itself down. That suspension is smooth as butter. You know what I mean? Butter. Man, look at the tire compression on here too. Ooh, man. These tires are just huge. We got, whoa, ugh. You guys see that? That's probably not great. So the steering link is pretty flimsy. We're talking about oil-filled shocks. We're talking about portal axles. This thing has a full 10th scale servo in here for a supposedly 18 scale rig. You might also notice that there's a full light bar up top. You got 2 headlights. You also got 2 rock lights down here as well. But let's talk about this servo for a second. That is a full 10th scale servo that they put in this supposed 18 scale rig. That should get the job done. We've got some officially licensed parts on this thing. So we do have licensed Nitto tires, Raceline wheels, although they are super just cheap looking with the way that they painted the outer ring. They are just glued on, so these are not beadlock, so a little bit of a bummer there. But it is what it is. And then you've got the Curry branded portal axles, front and rear. So that's pretty cool. Skid plate down here, we're talking about kind of this boat-shaped, boat-style skid plate, and the side plates there, just to have some smooth surfaces, not flat, sharp edges. Also, you can see when you flip this thing over, we got 4-link suspension front and rear, but the lower suspension links are metal, whereas the top ones are plastic, which, okay, that's fine. The bottom ones, though, I like that. Plastic drive shafts, of course, but they look pretty heavy duty. They look pretty adequate, sufficient. So a lot of good stuff going on there. But holy crap, I cannot. It's got 2 drivers. That's how big it is. It's so big it has to have 2 drivers. No, that's just a spotter over there. But yeah, this thing is just bonkers. And then check this part out. It has a hood. That's where the battery is. So we're talking about a 650 milliamp 2S LiPo battery, 20C, so pretty good discharge rate there. So it should provide sufficient power. And then, yeah, just drop the hood on that bad boy. It's ready to go. Man, seriously, guys, I cannot get over just how huge this thing is. So, for comparison's sake, here's a true 18 scale rig. This is a true 18 scale mini crawler. You can see the height difference. You can see the different, goodness gracious. I mean, that is just filthy. This thing is just massive. And that's pretty cool, but man, this is pushing my mini limits over here with the size of this thing. I mean, we're talking, this thing's easily 14 scale, if not 12 scale. So just out of curiosity, see if we can kill that cat. You know what I mean? Curiosity killed the cat. Here's an Atlas 6x6. The Capra is still bigger. These are both 18 scale rigs, supposedly. And look how much bigger that is. Goodness gracious. I mean, that is just bonkers. So, yeah, Axial, what in the world? I tend not to get too upset whenever I get more for my money, you know what I mean? But goodness gracious. But anyway, the good news, whenever I did pick this up on massive discount, MofoRC just happened to be having a clearance sale, or some kind of sale anyway, on their UTB18 brass. So, as luck would have it, I got a servo tray, a brass servo tray. So get some weight up here, right over that front axle. That's going to be good. Went ahead and got some brass steering links, as we already saw. I'm going to need to do something about that because, I mean, that's bananas. Went ahead and got some brass hexes, wheel extenders. So that's cool. And then Mofo slipped up a little bit on this one. This is supposed to be a brass skid plate. They sent me another brass servo mount. So, had to place a second order and get the brass skid plate coming. And I went ahead and I got brass portal covers, portal boxes, and all that stuff just to get some weight on the corners. Normally, I try not to do a whole lot of brass that's going to strain the servo, but with this full-size servo in here, I'm not worried about it. So it's going to be just fine. So yeah, I'm going to get into this thing. My other parts should be here in the next day or two, so I'm going to go ahead and start making some of these mods on this and hopefully have this bad boy ready next week for Axial Fest Badlands 2024. So if you're seeing this afterwards, it's because I'm filming the week prior, but sometimes the timing of my video releases gets pushed out every once in a while. So anyway, you might have already actually seen run footage of this thing on the trails, depending on the timing of my video releases. But yeah, so all right, I'm gonna start stripping some parts off here and throwing some brass around and try to get this thing ready for Axial Fest. But goodness gracious, listen, if you guys have an opportunity to pick one of these things up, especially at the price that I was able to get it, don't pass it up. I mean, oh, look at that suspension. It's just smooth. Those oil-filled shocks are just like butter. And man, the tires are vented real nice and squishy. They're still stock, you know, RTR glued on tires, so I'm sure they're probably not the best. I mean, that's always going to have to be upgraded, but daggone, I don't even know. I mean, are we talking about 1.3 wheels on this? Are we talking 1.9? What are we talking about on this thing? I'm going to have to look into that a little bit, but there'll be some upgrades coming. I won't be able to get everything done before Axial Fest, but I'm not that worried about it. I'm just excited to have one of these things and be able to get it out on the trail. So let's get some work done and see how she runs. All right, so I've got the brass installed. Let's see if we can flip that. Ooh, goodness gracious, look at the lights on that thing. Ha! That is bright. So I got the brass installed, the brass that I have on hand, I got that installed. Let's give it a rip on the old course. Now, I'm going to tell you, this thing is way too big for this course. By the way, I looked it up while I was doing some of the installs, and the wheels are 1.55s. So, little bit of kind of a, not unique, but a little bit of a off-size tire. Well, that was just poor driving with my one hand. So, give it another shot. See if I can be a little bit smoother, a little more precise. But also, I mean, this thing, I mean, look how, listen, this course was designed for 24s and 18s. This is allegedly an 18, remember? Now that right there is a tricky spot. Every 18 and 24 scale I've had just hits that and rolls. So the fact that this thing didn't until I did that is a little bit of a testament for its capabilities. You can see a little bit of flex here, a bit of a articulation on the suspension, except that light bar is washing out the camera pretty bad. I'm chasing daylight right now, trying to get this maiden voyage filmed. But man, it's just trying to get this thing through the lines with as wide and big as it is just, I mean, I just keep saying it. It's bananas. It's bonkers. So right here, I'm at Dead Hangman's Pass, because this will usually just hang you up to dry right here. But the size of this thing is just, it's not a problem, and it's just wheeling right through this course right now. I mean, these huge wheels and tires, I don't even have to pick a line. All I have to do is hit the throttle, and this thing just goes. Look at the steering angle on that. It's where that 10th scale servo in this thing is putting in some work and just handling. I'm trying to find some of the bigger crevasses, harder lines, just to see what this thing will do, and it's just doing it. I mean, it doesn't even matter what I throw at it because it's just doing it. And the broken bridge right here, I mean, every model I have has a hard time with this, and most of them struggle to get through there. The size of this, it's just pure domination on this course. And again, that's not surprising with how big this thing is. I'm just saying this to point out the 18 scale Capra is not 18 scale. An Axial. We're not falling for it. I don't even know. I mean, I guess. I mean, this is crazy. The back wheels just now entered the chute, and the front wheels are almost out of it.
I'm trying to get the light bar to not interfere, but you can see the wheels on just the outermost edges. That's nuts. And across the line. All right, next test. I've never tried this with a rig because, I mean, it just wouldn't go well. And I have no idea what to expect here, but we're going to give it the old ladder climb and see what happens. So, Capra UTB18. Let's see what you got, brother. Looking like a Stevie Wonder head nod, head bob right here. You know what I mean? I'm making you motion sickness with this camera work. Okay. Let me see if I just goose it. Let me see what happens. Yeah, nothing. Nothing, but it was worth a shot. So there we have it. This thing is awesome. I've already got some wheels and tires selected. I've got more brass on the way to build this thing up a little bit more. I'm going to leave the electronics as is because I just want to see, I want to see what it's capable of. I'm going to upgrade some of the hardware, but I'm going to keep the electronics stock for now and just see. I mean, it's got a 10th scale servo in there, so I'm off to a good start with that as is. So, but there it is. And then also, don't forget, as always, hit up Only RCs for awesome RC merch, gear, whatever you want to call it. OnlyRCs.com. Use my discount code. I'm going to drop it down in the description. Copy and paste it. And get that 20% off your whole order. Hit the quadfecta before you go, man. Like it. Subscribe it. Share it. Comment. Did I hear you say comment? Like, comment, subscribe, share. All that stuff. Hit the bells and the ding dongs and all that stuff. I will see you guys next time. Keep doing RC stuff, and I'll see you then. We can't dip out without a quick speed run, speed test, see what it's capable of. So I'm just gonna floor it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. Whoa. All right, not a bad top speed. And I just happened to have this little drain pipe sticking out from under my deck, and the Capra is just itching to see what else I can throw at it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw this at it. Okay, that was ridiculous. And I don't even know if I got it on camera because I was watching the truck and not the camera angle. So, I mean, seriously, with ease. With ease. All right, you know what? Let's see what this thing's capable of. I'm just going to gun it. Just no problem at all. No problem at all. Ride over it like a little rock bouncer. This thing is so impressive.